for the record, Kelly Hooster is amazing.
She's a queen. We love.
Great to
She was
work with.
awesome.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, I am too. She's so cool.
She's awesome.
You can produce that.
Yeah, you can put that in there. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Welcome to Podsdale, brought to you by the City of Scottsdale. Join us to explore the stories that make our city a world-class community.
Welcome back to Podsdale. I'm Greer Albaugh.
And I'm Jada McClendon. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Today, we're talking about a big win for Scottsdale Parks and Recreation. Our adaptive recreation program just received a national grant that's helping us expand and offer even more to local families.
That's right. Thanks to support from the National Recreation and Park Association, the city will now offer Special Olympic sports to youth starting at age 8. That includes bocce, swimming, golf, bowling, and soccer, all coming this fall.
It's a great example of how creative partnerships and dedicated staff can bring more opportunities to our community.
Today, we're joined by Kelsey Lamper, Operations Supervisor with Scottsdale Parks and Recreation, here to tell us how the grant came together, what it means for Scottsdale, and what families can expect from these expanded programs.
Let's get into it. Kelsey, thanks so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. Before we get into it, can you tell us just a little bit more, or can you tell us about yourself and your history and how you fell into this role with Parks and Rec?
Sure. In college, I studied therapeutic recreation, my undergraduate degree, and we, in therapeutic recreation, or also known as recreation therapy, we really use play, recreation, sports as a means of rehabilitation for people with disabilities, all ages, all disabilities. And after college, I got an internship at the Ability 360 Sports and Fitness Center for persons with disabilities. And that kind of kickstarted my career where I was there for 7 years. I moved to Nebraska, worked for a Parks and Recreation department there. I worked for a children's center for neurodevelopmental studies, honing in on my master's degree in healthcare administration. I worked for a team of 12 ophthalmologists or eye surgeons.
Dang.
That was an experience. And now I'm lucky to be with the City of Scottsdale Adaptive Recreation Program, where I'm the operations supervisor and I'm also a certified ADA coordinator.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about Adaptive Rec here in Scottsdale?
Of course, our mission in adaptive recreation here in Scottsdale is to provide safe, fun, and meaningful sport, recreation, and leisure experiences and opportunities for people with disabilities. We really have 3 main program areas in our City of Scottsdale Adaptive Recreation. One big program area that obviously we're going to be talking about today is Special Olympic sports, but year-round we do 9 sports. We do bocce, swim, golf, soccer, bowling, basketball, flag football, powerlifting. You're talking to the powerlifting coach right here.
Okay.
And track and field. But that is one big area of adaptive recreation. Another big area of adaptive recreation are social recreation and leisure programs or activities. We do bingo, guys' nights, girls' nights, karaoke, dances. Those are a big hit. We call it Club Adaptive.
Love.
Cooking classes, you name it. All the fun stuff. And then our last main activity or program area are our ADA accommodations. So with the exception of us coordinating ADA accommodations for employees, anyone who signs up for an activity within the whole city of Scottsdale who requests an accommodation, an ADA accommodation, that's going to go through my office, whether that is providing an American Sign Language interpreter, ASL interpreter, providing Braille or large print for someone, providing an inclusion support specialist to help somebody perhaps on the autism spectrum who needs a little bit extra support in an activity. That's going to be my team that supports them. Or maybe they just need a breakout room. They need a place where they can get away if they have sensory overload, something like that. That's going to be our team that coordinates that. So those are our big program areas in
That's a lot
adaptive
of-
recreation.
Yeah, that's really cool. I personally didn't know that we offered all of those really cool services. So thank you so much for what you do. That's really cool.
Can you explain the grant you recently applied for from the National Recreation and Park Association?
Absolutely. So we received the National Recreation and Park Association, NRPA, it's a mouthful, NRPA Youth Sports Equity Grant. And that grant was awarded to several organizations around the country, the city of Scottsdale being one of them, to expand sports to youth for historically underserved populations, whether that be racial or ethnic minority groups, low income groups, or people with disabilities. So obviously we hit the youth with disabilities category, and we are able to, as you said earlier, expand our youth programs, our Special Olympics sport programs, to youth ages 8 and up. Recently, post-pandemic, we have been limited with resources as far as staffing. We have 3 full-time staff, including myself, and 5 part-time staff. So we've really had to hone in on the demographic that we serve. Unfortunately, we have resource limitations, and we have been primarily serving adults with intellectual disabilities. So we're super excited to be able to expand this to youth with intellectual disabilities as well.
That's awesome. Super cool. It sounds like this was a really competitive grant. What do you think set Scottsdale and our programs apart and helped us earn the funding?
We already have a strong community foundation and community support, but we also have a strong sustainability plan for adults, adult Special Olympics sports. Since we've already been so successful with our Special Olympics sports for adults, we know that we can make it successful and sustainable for kids on the autism spectrum or who have Down syndrome. We also have a lot of community support from our families and opportunities in Scottsdale. So I think that helps with the foundation of the grant.
And why is it so important that you guys are expanding this starting at the age of 8? Like, why is that such a big deal for you guys?
Sports in Special Olympics Arizona are also known as SOAZ. That's the organization that kind of oversees us. And by the way, we are the Scottsdale Bobcats delegation, so Bobcat Nation.
I have seen the mascot. Does he have a name?
Bandit.
I was going to say, there are some really cute photos out there of Bandit with some of your recreation members, and I see it all the time, and I love that photo.
They love him.
Yes. Well, he's iconic.
He is. He just came out of the mountains a few years ago.
Of course.
So the old mascot did retire, and we have a new one, Bandit. But if you played sports growing up, you know that sports offer so much foundational knowledge in our lives, and making sure that kids have access to sport is so important to start building those skills and that knowledge, especially in the social appropriateness realm. That's really hard for especially kids on the spectrum. Socialization is one of the most difficult parts for them. So starting that young is extremely important. Sports teach us so many things aside from just physical coordination or strength. There's so many social parts of that, confidence building, even being a sore winner and a sore loser.
Sure,
we don't want that.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship, yeah. Sometimes I like to rub my winnings in people's faces. So we gotta learn to hone that in at a young age,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
Of course. Can you touch a little bit just on Special Olympics in general for someone who might not be familiar with what that program is?
Yes. Special Olympics is a worldwide organization. Then it is broken down more into Special Olympics North America, so smaller regions. And then each state is kind of governed into these franchises, if you will. And we are oversaw by Special Olympics Arizona, SOAZ. And then Special Olympics Arizona has different areas. We are in the Four Peaks area, basically the East Valley. And then we are a part of a delegation, the Scottsdale Bobcats, where we compete at area tournaments and also state tournaments. And fun fact that I learned last night, because we have a volunteer who actually works for Special Olympics International. Super cool. She's going to be our bocce coach this year.
Love.
There are 18,000 Special Olympics athletes in the state of Arizona.
Wow. That's a lot
Fun
of
fact.
athletes. That's awesome. That's so cool.
So that's a little bit about Special Olympics.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. What kind of impact do you think the programs have on these participants and their families that you're offering to them?
Of course, you have the physical coordination and strength component of sports in general, but these sports are really going to boost that confidence, independence. And what's important for our families is that they're going to be able to build a support network early on. It's amazing how many of our families are friends now just because they're coming to our activities and our programs, and they can relate to other families who have similar challenges, and they can build that support network. But those families, it's just so nice to see them connect with one another. And also they can see their child thrive. These families oftentimes are constantly being told what their child's deficits are. And this is an opportunity for them to be a part of something where they are succeeding and winning. We are finding those wins every day and seeing that improvement. I'm getting goosebumps right now because it's so impactful. I love everything about it.
Can you think of any recent, just kind of speaking on that, just from past programs and things like that you can recall, any special stories that you would want to share about, just how important this is?
In addition to being the powerlifting coach, the past 2 years, I've been the swim coach as well.
Awesome.
Aquatics is so amazing, something you can do forever. And one impactful story, it really has nothing to do with the sport itself. But sometimes these participants who they're neurodiverse, they struggle with commitment and follow through with something for various reasons. A lot of times it's because of those social impacts. And I had a swimmer, I'm going to call her Susie Q. Susie, she had never finished anything in her life that she had committed to. She would always start something and then quit when it got hard. And we really just made sure to accommodate her. There were so many practices where she said, I quit because she was struggling, and we really were just patient with her. She had a team behind her, including her peers, that supported her. And at the end of the season at our state swim meet, her mom came up to me in tears saying this is the first thing that she's ever finished in her life.
Oh, wow.
She has never finished a commitment, and she followed through, and she was so happy. She got a gold medal. She brought home the hardware, and I can't wait to have her on my team again this fall.
That's awesome. That's so cool. It sounds like the work you're doing is just really impactful and really it's just really cool work that you're doing. So thank you again. Where do you hope to see Scottsdale's Adaptive Recreation program go in the next few years?
This is a one-time grant. it does expire on December 31st of this calendar year. So I would love to find ways to make this program sustainable and continue to offer Special Olympic sports and different activities to a wider variety of age groups. I also want to make sure that we're strengthening those pathways from youth to adult programs. And this can kind of be a feeder program where youth are continuing this recreation throughout their whole lives. So we want to make sure that we are a model for other cities in the Valley, and maybe not even just that, maybe expanding to be a model in the state of Arizona, or better yet, in the country. So I would really love to just expand our programs to a wider demographic.
Totally. If someone were to want to get involved in adaptive recreation, where would they go? What would they do?
If somebody has a participant who is wanting to get involved, you can obviously reach out to me directly, but you can pop onto our website and search Scottsdale Adaptive Recreation, and that will take you to an activity page where you can simply sign up for an activity, fill out a form, and we will reach out to you to schedule that intake, kind of like an orientation and assessment to get to know you, to get to know the family and the participant, to make sure that we are serving them and meeting their needs and making those accommodations. We are also always looking for sport volunteer coaches.
Okay.
So if somebody is wanting to volunteer, we have a new volunteer system, Better Impact, and with Brandon Chapman. But you can reach out to me if you are interested and need that link to Better Impact. You do not have to be an Olympic athlete in order to coach. You really just have to have an open mind, and you don't even need to have any experience. We have so many people who had no experience coaching at all. They just came in with an open mind, an open heart, and now they have been coaching with us for several years, and I feel like they're experts in that sport now.
That's awesome.
So yeah, if you have somebody, a loved one, or yourself who wants to utilize our programs and our services, our activities, we would love to have you. Always looking for more participants. And if you are somebody who is willing to give your time and wants to give back to the community through coaching a sport, we would love to have you as well.
Cool.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you would like to plug, or any events that you have coming up that you want to share with us before we go?
So on September 9th, we are going to take this to City Council. That's why I'm hesitant to say this. But if this goes live after that, this is great. So after September 9th,
we can always push. Yeah, we can move things around.
Yeah, let me talk about this.
Yes,
this
okay.
is super exciting. Yeah. So part of the NRPA Youth Sports Equity Grant is a partnership with Musco Lighting. And part 2 of this grant,
where are you going?
Can you tell I'm excited?
Yes.
Is that Musco Lighting is donating up to $100,000 in lighting infrastructure to the city of Scottsdale to add lighting to our Chaparral Park basketball court.
Ooh.
This was in the 10-year master plan for Parks and Recreation, that we needed to add lighting to the Chaparral Park basketball court. So heck yeah.
Yeah.
So that we are going to be getting lighting as long as council approves it. Free money.
Love it.
Love that. In November or December of this calendar year. And obviously in Arizona, we can only play sports sometimes, like if it's in the summer, when the sun goes down. So this is really going to increase access for families and youth to play some b-ball.
That's awesome. I love that. That's really cool. It sounds like a great opportunity, and the work you're doing is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey, for coming on Podsdale. We really appreciated having you and learning so much about the awesome work you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Cool. Wow, you're a star.
You did great.
Thanks.
That's all for this episode of Podsdale. If you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe. You can find us on YouTube or in your favorite podcast app. Share episode ideas and provide your feedback by emailing communications@scottsdaleaz.gov. Thanks for listening.